People who have been cheated on, how did you find out? You know how Facebook chat bubbles open up on top of whatever app you're on? He sent me a screenshot of something funny between him and his cousin. In the background was a text message about a date he was going on with this girl. We were out on a date when she got a phone call. Her fiancé had just been in a terrible motorcycle accident and died. We had been dating for about 8 months at that point. We never talked again. A girl texted me and asked if I was single, because she saw my girl making out with someone else at a party. We were at a party together with a bunch of close friends. She said she wasn't feeling that well, and my buddy was leaving early because he had to work in the morning, so he could take her home. Fair enough, we're all friends, we help each other out. I had a weird feeling in my gut, so when I left the party, I made a quick stop at my girlfriend's place. As I entered the cul-de-sac, I saw my buddy's car parked in front of her house with lights off. So I turned my car's lights off and slowly crept over. Then I was about 20 feet away, so I zoomed over and stopped right in front of his car, and I blasted on the high beam lights as I did this. At that moment, I saw them pull away from a kiss. I pulled up to the side of his car and we both rolled down our windows and I just asked how things are going. They didn't look me in the eyes. Then I just drove home. That was it for our relationship. The prostitute, literally, banged on the door. When I opened it, she zeroed in on him and threatened to sick her pimp on him for not paying her. The guy she was cheating on me with told me. To be fair to him, he didn't even know we were dating at the time. But we had mutual friends that knew we were dating, and so he figured it out. Anyway, it sucked pretty bad, but he was cool about it and also felt bad. He and I actually ended up hanging out for a while and she basically got totally ostracized from our friend group. So I feel like I came out on top. His friend was kind enough to tell me. It ruined their relationship, but it was very meaningful to me. I appreciated someone doing me the kindness of letting me know. I had suspicions about my wife for a while, but confirmation came in the form of a voicemail from the guy's wife. "Hi, this message is for Quizzical Dog. It's blank calling. Just wanted to let you know that your wife has been having an affair with my husband blank. So, I just thought you should know. If you have any questions, I'm sure your wife would love to tell you all about it. Bye. My husband passed away suddenly. He kept all of our old phones. I wanted to look through them, his and mine, to see the texts we sent to each other and remember the great times. I found a phone number that had been calling him repeatedly in the morning on the way to work and at night on the way home. The first initial and last name were on his phone under contacts. I searched his email with that name and found out he had been having an affair. I'm still not sure for how long, somewhere between 18 months and 3 years. Devastating. Showed up to the police station to bail him out. I had no idea why he'd been arrested, but assumed it was drinking and driving, again. He was a wicked alcoholic, and I was naive and painfully codependent. Was signing forms to pay a bail bondsman. I was naive and didn't realize that a $50,000 bail, which ended up being about a $3,000 bond, cash, was not what one would have for a DUI. Behind me, I heard the bondsman talking to a woman. He asked her how she knew my now ex. "We're dating," she said. I stopped filling out the form, turned around, and asked, "Who are you, exactly?" "Oh, you're my name. You don't know who I am." So long story short, he'd been maintaining an ongoing relationship with a woman almost 20 years older than me. The night before, she had put a restraining order on him, which he violated the next morning, hence the arrest and $50,000 bond. Found out after we broke up. Another one of her exes struck up a conversation with me. We compared notes and realized the timelines overlapped. Not me but my parents. Dad found out from a dirty text that his best friend of 30+ years sent to my mom. Mom was mentally abusive and convinced him not to tell me. I was in college and didn't live at home at the time. I found out a month later when wife of said best friend messaged me on Facebook and asked how I was doing with all of this. Mom left and hasn't talked to me in 6+ years. Dad got remarried. He just had his first anniversary. New wife adopted me and I have a good mom for the first time in my life. The girl texted me. I had my doubts, but no evidence. Not that I needed evidence to leave, but that's another story. She texted me on IG with screenshots of him chatting with her, and a very prominent pic of his, against a very distinctive floor tile. No way to say that's not my. So, busted. Funny thing, it was this day 4 years ago that I found out my wife was having an affair with her boss. I knew something was wrong. The way she acted around me was off. I had asked her point blank if she was having an affair with X. She denied it and suggested we go to marriage counseling. I took this as I was doing something wrong and went in hoping to find the issue that could save my marriage. She lied again in the counseling. This went on for about a month and a half. I had Thursdays off of work, so I got up and worked out, did a little bit of cleaning and sat down. That moment my brain went wild with the possibility of her having an affair. So I logged into her Facebook and found the messages between her and X. I called her crying asking why. She gave me a cold "I don't know to tell you" and hung up. I left the house and went to the bank to get my half of the money. On the way I called an old boss and had a better job in a different city by the end of the day. I am a pretty simple person. I don't ask for much besides trust and truth in a relationship. That was broken now and I was out. I ended up remarrying a wood woman with 2 kids and couldn't be happier. We broke up, I made a new friend and she asked if I had a boyfriend and I told her we had just ended the relationship, but I also told her his name, to which she replied I had a boyfriend with that name too not too long ago. It wasn't a common name in our area, so I laughed and I showed her a picture and she did the same and we stopped laughing. It was the same guy, we both dated him for like 4 months and 2 of those at the same time. I'd been seeing this girl for 8 months, and flowers arrived from a guy called Matt on her birthday, but she managed to convince me he was just a friend. It wasn't a problem as I was finally meeting her family for the first time at her birthday meal that same day, and she dropped the L-bomb a few days before. I stayed at hers after the meal, then left for work in the morning. Later that day I sent her the usual text of "when you free next," and then she decided to inform me that Matt was actually her boyfriend of 5 years, and she was moving 300 miles to the house that he had bought for them both, and I would never get to see her again. Safe to say it left me with just a few trust issues. His sister, whom I had never met, called me up to tell me that, while he was across the country visiting them, his ex-wife had driven up there and they were back together. He promised me that wasn't the case, but the sister stealing my number from his phone and calling me sent up red flags, so I broke it off. He called me a few months later and tried to restart our romance. His sister again called to let me know he had remarried said ex-wife. He got really persistent about being into a relationship even though he knew I knew he was married. I don't know why the sister did it, but bless her. He made out with my best friend at the time right in front of me. It was surreal. Totally unprompted as well. They just went for it out of nowhere.